Hi Virgo, here's a general look at your solar chart for the whole of 2011, and this is just looking at the outlying slower moving planets which set the stage for the inner planets which move faster over the years, and they are the subject of the monthly astrological forecast that you'll see on here. In general, well, you'd like to know where Mercury is going to be, or rather when it's going to be going backwards, I should imagine. So March the 30th to April the 23rd is the first retrograde. August the 2nd to August the 26th is the second one. And November the 23rd to December the 13th is the third one. Also, overall, may I say the love department looks as though it's about to improve because you're going to get Jupiter in your opposite area, Aries, which is going to be very good for deepening a love relationship. Excellent time for improvements regarding finances or property or a resource that you may be reliant upon somebody else to provide for you, or in fact they are reliant upon you to provide for them. So it's a kind of a mutual reciprocity. Maybe it's a resource, different types of resources that you're providing for each other, but also it's likely that it will be easier for the resources that you want to come your way in the first half of the year, that's to say from January the 23rd until June the 5th, because Jupiter, the planet of abundance, is in a very material area there, which is to do with getting around you, you know, the types of things you want, being able to do business with somebody who's a good provider for you in some way, whether that's on a professional or personal level, because it's altogether likely that there will be somebody there for you to lean on, and also you will be there for them to lean on, I guess. But this is definitely, you know, a love relationship could get a lot closer. And also, you know, business relationships where you're doing business with somebody that allows you to tap into a resource or a bit of kit or equipment, or if it's, you know, just you improving home comforts like getting the couch or the carpet or whatever it is, it's far more likely to be happening in the first half of 2011. So you're going to feel more supported, more importantly. You're going to feel a kind of stability inside of you. It's more likely, anyway, more settled emotionally, and you'll feel liberated as you shuffle off the heavy restrictions of the past. So that's good news. And then from June the 5th, Jupiter is going to move into your 9th house area. That looks like there's going to be more opportunity for travel for some of you, contact with those at a distance, speaking out with, you know, the spoken word, the written word through any of the other medias or arts, another language, another intellectual field of interest, you going back to school or you going to school, you know, getting educated, also finding a good teacher or a good teaching, or you being the teacher, you being the disseminator of information, you being not just the student, but you could be, but also having the students looking to you in the way, maybe not technically as teaching, although it could be, but for your advice, your mentoring, your guidance. A great vibration for broadcasting of any kind, writing, you know, things on a grander sort of scale, but also for getting involved in publishing, politics, the law, or any other kinds of communications media or travel. And also that includes the spiritual law, of course, not just the man-made one. And your awareness and knowledge base is going to grow an awful lot over that period there, I would say, from June the 5th onwards until the end of the year. Now, there's 4 solar eclipses in 2011. The first one's in Capricorn, and if the degree of the eclipse makes a connection with an important point in your natal chart, then that will open the way for fresh starts for several months in the area that in the area to do with what you enjoy, what's creative, what's spontaneous, what's playful, or relationships you enjoy, like with children or romantic relationships, doing the kinds of activities that allow you to shine in your own special way. So fresh beginnings there. Leisure activities, hobbies, for those of you who have those natal chart connections with the eclipse degree. Saturn continues to transit Libra until autumn of 2012, meaning that you're going to continue to meet the challenge of making the most of what you have, but also making improvements to your space or to your finances in very sort of practical ways. So this is an energy which is calling for you to work harder, take the long view, think to the future with anything around your material security, you know, your domestic setup, property, money, income, outgoings, possessions, equipment, you know, whatever it is. And you can slowly, because Saturn is always slow in its action, step by step work towards making things more comfortable in any of these areas for yourself or your nearest and dearest. So take those small steps now towards better conditions in the future, and that's going to stand you in good stead further down the line. So if you're training for a skill which is going to, you know, become very lucrative for you, or hopefully, you know, just make a marketable sort of skill, and you're working hard at it, that's another way, you know, the Saturn action can really help you in this area, because Saturn is a builder planet. Also, another thing about Saturn here is about, you know, nutrition and diet, foodstuffs, food produce, you know, herbs, vegetables, fruits, looking at those, maybe producing those. Uranus is going to be moving from your opposite sign in March, which is going to settle things down an awful lot in your close personal and professional relationships. You know, people blowing hot and cold, people, you know, now you see them, now you don't. Whatever's been going on over this last 7 years, you'll know what I'm talking about. And also, it will have revolutionized completely the balance of power, or the type of partnership that you're in. You know, you may have gone from one partnership to another, or within that partnership or close relationship with those in your inner circle, you know, the balance, the dynamic will have changed there, sometimes in quite sudden and unexpected ways over this last 7 years. Well, when Uranus moves and starts working from Aries from March the 12th, 2011, it's going to be there for about 7 years. Gradually, that will be revolutionizing the way your finances, your joint finances work, and around, you know, joint property and all of that stuff that I was talking about earlier, which is where Jupiter is going to be. It's going to, where Jupiter is going to be in the first half of the year, it's going to, once again, bring change, temporary destabilization, whilst the gears are changing there in the area of joint resources, which could be quite sudden, you know, something out of the blue just lands in your lap. And it's likely to reverse the order of things. So if you haven't been doing too well in that department there, then things could be getting an awful lot better. Definitely stacking the cards in your favor. Just remember to remain open-minded. Look at anything which maybe you thought isn't quite your style with regard to property, resources, equipment, and so on. And actually, you can be very successful. Things like new technology actually would be good. You know, solar panels, wind turbines, things like that. Renewable energy, sustainable energy. And what I mentioned earlier about, you know, the vegetables and the fruits. Now, over January and February, the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction may trigger a sudden change in conditions which open new doors related to these areas. So watch out for that, because that could suddenly accelerate things, and you might have to, you know, look at the potentials really, really fast and make a decision or two. The life-changing force of Pluto, now in Capricorn, is creating regeneration from deep levels. That's in a very positive aspect to your sun sign, depending on where you were born in Virgo. There's going to be a letting go of old scenarios which could be related to your self-worth, could help you to start to feel more empowered, more confidence, coming in, allowing you to be competitive because you can shine in your own special and very unique way. This is the energy of rebirth in this area here, and that also is related to love relationships in your life, you know, those in your inner circle, but also romantic relationships too. Jupiter is squaring Pluto from February the 17th to March the 3rd. At this time, you could become super enthusiastic about getting something rolling, maybe renovating, rehabilitating, renewing. You could run up against a few snags with the powers that be, but as long as you remain flexible and maybe review things, let go of maybe one position in favor of another position, then you can be very successful and move forward absolutely fine. Jupiter opposes Saturn March 25th to April the 2nd. That's conflicting energies there. You can be successful again, but just be cautious when you're expanding into new areas. Take the long view when you're making decisions. Keep an ear to the bigger, you know, picture that's going on out there in the world. Jupiter is trining Pluto July the 1st to the 14th and October the 16th to November the 3rd. This is a very good influence which can help you make a wiser use of your knowledge. Maybe you're changing, though, your approach, your belief, your take, your stance on something. You can learn a great deal, which is enlightening, which could expand your life into new areas, but also you could be changing other people's beliefs, stance, take on things by what you're giving to them, what you're saying to them. So this isn't just about yourself. Actually, this one here is about your little wheel in the bigger wheel. You know, that's about you as part of the bigger scenario at this very special time in Earth's history. This is also a time when you can untangle problems from the past, something which may have been causing you grief for a while. Now, Uranus is in challenging aspect to Pluto, July 8th to August the 16th. This is going to be a recurring aspect in our skies until into 2015, really getting into gear from June 2012. This aspect is sudden event territory. It means an unexpected, potentially life-changing chance for things to change for the better. But along the way there, it could feel quite uncomfortable and take, you know, keep us on our mettle, because it is about evolution. And survival of the fittest kind of idea there, which isn't necessarily the most muscly or the most powerful. It might not just be the most flexible. So the advice is to prepare for this by creating a plan B right now, starting now. This energy can, you know, manifest in dramatic, sudden ways. It can be related to any of our systems that we're used to, you know. This is a very particular time in our history, and things that we've relied upon, traditionally taken for granted, economically, culturally, socially, to do with education, is subject now to deep transformative change. And sometimes things are going to be happening very fast, so don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. But get interested maybe and get going with, you know, what you kind of sort of sense is the writing on the wall, and I'll have a fallback position because of that, because it can't do any harm, I guess. The second solar eclipse is on June the 1st in Gemini, meaning that if there are strong aspects from the eclipse degree to a natal point in your chart, you're going to get the chance to make new beginnings at the very foundations of your life. That's to say, right in your own backyard, in your dwelling, wherever that is going to allow for change and improvement to come in there with your major goals, either related to, you know, where you live, your domestic conditions, or your professional sort of direction, goals, and so on. And that's also just, you know, your general life direction as well. The third solar eclipse is in Cancer on July the 1st, and that's going to send out a pulse of energy over coming months, and providing there are contacts with the eclipse degree from your natal chart, and that's going to offer a chance to make new beginnings within friendships, social circle, networking, anything techno, anything kind of advanced, and a venture maybe that you waited for a long time to make progress with, Virgo. The fourth solar eclipse is in Sagittarius on November the 25th. That's your sector, a sector of home area, new beginnings with family, tribe, neighborhood, but also it could have a knock-on effect with, you know, your image out there in the world as well. Now, there's two lunar eclipses also in 2011. One is, the first one is June the 15th in Sagittarius, and the second one is December the 10th in Gemini. Both of these will have an impact to do with new beginnings at home, you know, where you're anchored inside your own backyard, as it were, your locality, your neighborhood, but also you're standing out there in the world. Now, for many years, Neptune has been making its influence felt in subtle ways in your life, and you'll have been guided by dreams and visions, and maybe played a rather unconditional supporting and serving role in the lives of others that you cared about. Maybe sometimes it's been difficult for you to draw a boundary line to discover your true role there, and sort of being, you know, all things for all people. Good to have been looking at using the softer remedies for anything health related. Great for arts and crafts, and any of you involved with healing with light. Now, Neptune's transit of that area is drawing to a close, and actually in 2011 will come out between April the 5th and August the 5th and go into Pisces, its home sign, for a very short while. And that will be the beginning of a new sort of paradigm there in your close relationships. And in the love department as well, but also in a business kind of way. So it'll be time for you to balance your high hopes and ideals and dreams with the reality of what's doable within the, you know, one-to-one type relationships, and working maybe in a more compassionate way with people. In late 2011, Mars will stay for a lengthy period in your sign, Virgo. This looks like a supercharged period for you. It goes on from November the 11th right on into July 2012. My goodness, you are going to be busy. You're going to be in demand, you know, so get fit. Love relationships could really start to heat up at that time. You can achieve a lot. You'll have a lot of push and drive. Just give yourself time to take a breath, though. An extraordinarily long transit, which is going to activate your energy and vitality. So, yes, just be careful not to push yourself beyond your limits, and you can make a great deal of progress at that time, and quite an impact on others or an impact on the world, and you will feel ready to step up to the plate, whatever that means, and you'll work hard at getting things the way you want them to be on practical levels. Well, that's it. That's the overview for the whole of 2011. If you know your rising sign, listen to that too. May I wish you a very good 2011, a very good happy new year, and I will see you the next time.